Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is, and I love you so much. Come on, come on, come on, you, yes, you, come on, get outside. Come on, that's good, 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 good. You're doing it. I am so happy for you. Starlight is so proud of you. You're doing a great job. You're doing so fabulous. You are doing wonderful. You are. Just by getting outside in nature, you're doing an awesome job. That's what I expect. I expect you to come on out, unless you're in your deathbed, or something happened to you. But otherwise, come on, come on, come on. Bring your family, bring your friends, bring your girlfriend, husband, wife, children, dogs, grandpa. Yes, grandpa needs exercise. Believe me, grandma and grandma, they need exercise. Yes. So bring them all, come out, or even go like out by yourself like Starlight does. I love going out by myself. I love hiking by myself. I love going to the park by myself, but I would love to have company. Don't get me wrong. It's great going out and doing that stuff with other people, but if you can't, don't wait for other people. Don't have any excuses. Just get right outside and take a trip. Bring yourself with you. Bring lots of water. Bring some, healthy snacks, Hey, that peanut butter and grape sandwich sounds good right about now. Of course, peanut butter without the salt and sugar, wheat bread. So anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you could give this video a thumbs up, and you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget, you can leave me a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Swing by and say, "Hi, Starlight. I'm still here with you." Where did she go? Where did she go? Does anybody know? Where did she go? I don't know. I don't know where she went. So anyway, yes, don't forget to leave a message down below. You could share. Yes, share my videos. You don't have to ask for permission. Starlight gives you permission to share my videos with your family, your friends, a duck, and yeah, quack, 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 and a dog. Those are the two animals I see here. Plus, don't forget to check out my playlist, and you can find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So today is a very special video, and I just want to say thank you to all of you for being here, loving, supporting me, and some of you have been here from the very beginning. Wow, how did you do that? Yes, there's somebody here that has been here from day one and still here today on my YouTube channel that has been loving and supporting me. Thank you, and thank you all that have been here all the way from the beginning and all the way through, and maybe you just joined. Thank you so much for coming by and giving me a visit. And anyway, thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you for leaving a message down below. Thank you for sharing my videos. I appreciate all of you. Now today is about how can you tell who are your friends? Who is she really your friend? Is he really your friend? So this video, I'm gonna help you. Yeah, you and you and you and you, because this has been a topic that's been coming up in my life. People are like, aren't you my friend, Starlight? Or want to be friends? Or we are friends. So these are so many things that I've been dealing with late, and I said, you know what, this is a great topic for today. Is, are we friends? Or, how to tell if she or he is really seriously their friend when they say, I'm your friend, we just met, but I am your friend. And so I love you all, and I need to make this video because through society, this is a huge problem in the world. Huge. When I say huge, like in New York, huge. Huge is what I'm talking about, and so this is a huge problem. You're probably thinking, why is this a huge problem, Starlight? I have a friend. Well, you could have friends that could have been there from high school all the way through, or even, growing up, and how much time do you think it takes to make a friend? Hey, I just met you this week. We're friends. No, wrong answer. Beep. Oh, I've been loving and supporting you for a long time. Okay. But what do I know about you? I don't even know your name. What's your name anyway? What is your name? I don't know. I don't know your name. So how could we be friends when I don't even know your name? I don't know your name. I don't know if you got children. Do you have children? Are you married? Are you single? Do you live alone? Do you have a dog? A cat? No, that's a cat. No, that's a dog. Meow? That's a cat. Okay, yes, that's a cat. So how do you know if the people that you have in your life are really your friends? How many friends do you have? How many friends do you have? You have 30 friends? Wow, I'm so impressed. Wow, I am so freaking impressed that you got 30 friends. So with those 30 friends, take a piece of paper and a pen, yes, and then ask all these different questions about your friends, and what's their name, where do they live, what's their their telephone number, are they married, single, do they have kids, like what is their favorite color, what do they like to eat, where do they like to go, what do they like to do, what are their dislikes, what are their likes, what are their dislikes, what was their childhood like, what was it like when they went to school, well, did you know anything about their exes maybe, or maybe their friends or any of that? No. So the reason you're probably wondering, Starlight, take those freaking glasses off. No, I am not taking these glasses off. You know why? There's a reason why I'm wearing these glasses. Friends are not ashamed to be who they truly are. Friends will let you see what they look like at all different aspects of their being. They will let you see their flaws. They will let you see what they're like when they're happy. They can be themselves. That's what a friend can be, is they can be themselves, unapologetic. Now, should friends have, a good day every day? No, shit no. You know what? Shit happens. And you know what? When shit happens, maybe your friend's going through some fucked up shit right now and you don't know. Should you check up on that friend? Should you see how they're doing? Or are you that kind of friend? Are you a good friend? Number one, are you a good friend? Could you be a good friend? Do you see yourself as being a good friend? Now, how are you with your friends? Are you there only when they're having great times and when they're there to celebrate, they're there with you? But now, you heard some bad news and now you want to avoid them like the plague. I thought you said they are your friends. Are they really your friends? Or are you only around when they're getting a paycheck, Did I say that out loud? Did I say that out loud? Yes, I said that out loud. Are you there only when, they got their paycheck and they want to take you somewhere and they got the vehicle and you don't have the vehicle, and they say, hey, want to go and spend the weekend, and they just got their paycheck and you're like, yes, this sounds like a great time to spend with my friend because my friend's got a car. Every time we get together, they buy me stuff and they take me out to the restaurants and we have a lot of fun and all that stuff, and I want to go with my friends. Well, how are you when your friend is not doing so good? Maybe they lost a loved one, Do you avoid them like the plague and hey, you're dealing with stuff, I just don't want to be around you right now. And then you swing by, like a month later after they mourned for the whole month, and then you come by and say, hey, let's are you ready to go out for the weekend? Where were you when, they just lost a friend or a loved one, true friend is gonna not capital Not, not stab you in the back by when things are not, because friends are going to have some complications, right? We're going to have some complications, misunderstandings, miscommunications, all kinds of shit can happen, I'm telling you. Is that, are they going to go and ask maybe their friends and say, hey, what's up with my friend? We'll just say his name is, I got to think of a name. I'm just going to use my brother Doug, So you're going to say, you're going to not go to your friend Doug, a guy friend, or even, is instead of going right straight to Doug and saying, hey, Doug, how what's up? What's up? What's up? Like, what's going on? I thought, did I do something wrong? Or no, they don't do that. No, these kind of, I don't know what kind of friends you have, but are the kind of friends that you have, do they, instead of going to you and asking you, hey, how come you haven't been texting me, like something feels off, instead they don't go to Doug, they go to Doug's friends. They go to Doug's friends and say, Doug, what's up? They say to Doug's friends, hey, like, Steve, what's up with Doug? Everything was cool, we were hanging out, we were having fun, drinking and smoking, getting along, listening to music, and everything was great. Over the weekend, Monday, he's not, I've been writing to him, trying to get some, see if we can connect again, and he's not responding. And it's not just been one day, it's been like a week, and, not even talking to me, not even computing, like, is it really Steve's business what's going on with Doug? This is a huge problem with people that have lots of friends, that sometimes they will go to their friend Doug's friends, Steve, or women, other women like Sally, and say, Sally, what's up with Doug? What do you mean, what's up with Doug? Well, Doug, everything was great, and now everybody knows that there's some kind of, and everybody wants to solve the problem. Now people are talking about Doug. Doug doesn't even know anything that's happening. Actually, the reason why Doug hasn't been calling is that he did lose somebody in his family or a friend, and he just shut himself out right now. He just needed a break. But now all this chaos is going around, all these people that he thought were his friends, and then he finds out that they were all talking bag. They just started creating all kinds of scenarios of what could be wrong with Doug, and now everybody knew all this, now they're gathering, now it's a lot of drama and gossiping and backstabbing, and Doug just went through a horrible time. He has been, he couldn't answer the phone, he couldn't call, he couldn't do anything because he was mourning. And so what kind of friends do you have? Are they only there like when you have stuff, when you're, celebrating and having fun, or are they there to be with you when things don't look cool, when shit hits the fan? Do they just run away and they just go do their thing and never check up on you and see how they're doing? Other ways of knowing if they are really your friend is real friends can take the glasses off, the mask, and they will open themselves up so you can see, the eyes are the eyes are the windows to the soul. So there's no cover up, there's no cover up. You can actually read their body language. You're not hiding anything behind the shades. They're actually taking them off, and they're revealing who they are on the deepest levels. So you have a really beautiful, open like a relationship with that person. They're being real with you. They're actually They will open up and tell you things they couldn't even tell their family members. These kind of friends don't happen overnight. Nah. You gotta test out the waters, see how they do with communication, Hey, how you doing? If there's no response and if you're reaching out, sometimes you're being tested. Some people will test you to see how you are. You could write to them and they don't respond. You're saying, well, that's not a good friend. Well, you don't know really your friend, right? You don't really know who your friend is. Maybe the person that you think is your friend is just testing you out to see how you're going to respond back. Are you going to respond at all? Or are you going to say, hey, what the blank is up with you? I'm writing to you. Are you going to, accuse them, attack them, or whatever? So testing people out is very important in any kind of relationship. So, and Starlight has been tested for years about friendship. And I take it very serious. A long time ago, I didn't. I thought I had friends. They really weren't my friends. I would open up, tell them stuff that I needed. I needed, to talk to somebody. I trusted them. I opened up my heart to these people. And what did they do? Later on, guess what they did? They rubbed it all over in my face and made me feel like a piece of shit is what they did. I thought they were accepting me. I thought that they were, caring about me by letting me express myself and tell them about some horrible stuff that I did, So those are not your friends when you are brave enough to take off the mask and let them see that you're not perfect. Let them see your flaws. But you can't do that with people you just met, right? I hope not, right? Because Starlight used to do that. That takes time. You got to feel people out, We don't become friends overnight, And even if you did something great to help somebody out, it doesn't make you an instant friend. There's people that, I've gone through this a lot on this journey, even a lady out in Colorado, my friend, Starlight, my friend. Where, you know what? When I couldn't give her any more food at the food pantry, like a whole carload, where did she go? Just like the Roadrunner, beep beep, there she goes. I don't even know, I thought you were my friend. You always said I was your friend. She wasn't my friend. So that is why it's so important to really know the people in your life. Are they your friends? Or are they just being a fake and being a fraud, and just pretending to be a friend to you and, gathering information, about you and just to go and spread it around about you, and talk bad about you. Those are not your friends. But how are you going to know if they're your friends? It takes time. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Just like relationships, and that's what I was saying in the beginning of this video, is this is a big, huge problem, not just with friendships, but with relationships. Hey, we're strangers, boom, we're friends now, we're friends, but I don't even know your last name, I don't even know your date of birth, I don't even know where you live, I don't know nothing about your family, I don't even know what kind of music you like to listen to, or what kind of food do you like to eat? Anyway, I don't know. Those are kind of things that you should know about a friend. Hang on, Starlight's gotta. And being a friend is by just like a relationship. There's lessons to learn when it comes to friendships or relationships, and I have learned a big, huge lesson is that just because I met you a week ago, it don't make us instant friends. That is something that you got to work for. That is something that, you got to prove to me that you're my friend. It doesn't just happen overnight, and that is what I've gone through. And that's why I say on my YouTube channel is I have one friend out there. That doesn't mean that Starlight can't make other friends. That means that you got to spend time with each other, not just on your computer. You can, But, you got to really interact with each other. It's not, there's people that they live in the same town. There's sometimes we can be friends to people that are out of the country, and communicate that way. And but there's a continuing back and forth, like they're checking up on you and helping you out, and you're checking them on them and you're helping them out. It's a back and forth, it's a give and take. It's always back and forth, and it's not like talk, and then talk a little bit, and then you don't hear nothing, from that person. The conversation stops, and like years go by, and then you see each other again, and then you might see each other out, at a park or out in public somewhere, and then you don't see each other for a long time, and then you're not friends. You don't spend enough time with each other. You're not checking up on each other through that space and time. So you're not friends with that person, and they, like, even though they could be there for you when you meet up and say, I knew a person that did this all the time. I thought was like the mayor, because he knew a lot of people. I was like, wow, who are you? But he was a very friendly, outgoing person, and everywhere he goes, he would talk, mainly to guys, but, hey bud. And then he always had like you'd swear it was like a job application, a job application every single time he met these people. And I was a witness to this whole thing. I was like, what the heck, hey, are you still with Nancy? Are you still at that job? How's your family? How, in that same questionnaire, he would bump into another person, and he was actually really, I figured out what he was doing is comparing how they were doing compared to how he was doing. Oh my, and I learned so much about all these strangers I didn't even know about. He told me everything, oh yeah, they're back into drugs now, and he was comparing himself to all these people, and he was putting himself on a pedestal, thinking they were so much greater than all these people. But little, I knew about him, it's like, so he wasn't better than all these people that he was comparing himself to. But it made him feel good that he can go through this checklist. And a lot of people in society does this. Hey, do you still work at that job? Hey, like, how much money are you making? Or, oh, you got a new job. How much money are you making there? And then figuring out, okay, how much money is he making? More than I am? Is he single? Oh, he's single. Well, I'm single. So that's not being a friend, is when you're constantly comparing yourself with other people and like a checklist. So those are not your friends. Those are just associates. You just associate with those people. But that person was backstabbing every single person. So you don't want those kind of people to be your friends. The ones that are going to be there are the ones that are going to be there from the beginning to the end, through the thick, the thin, the beautiful times, the fun times, exciting times, and challenging times. There's going to be times that you're going to have complications with any kind of relationship. Even people that you meet, you might not see eye to eye, but friends really actually will say, hey, what's up? I feel that there's something odd, there's something weird going on, and I just want to check, is everything okay with you? Instead of going to their family members or their friends, and why go to all those people? Talk to the one that's going through some stuff. Maybe you might not, maybe they're not going through anything at all, but have they been there for you? Yes, they've been there for me. Have they been there for with you through the thick and thin? Yes, they have. Well, then you should be there for them through the thick and thin too. It's not just when the party is out, you're out and having a party. It's when shit hits the fan, and when they could be struggling in life, because we all do. This is where you're not judging each other. You're like, okay, you're going through something. Okay, I will pray for you. Pray for your friends, like Starlight did. Starlight does. Is I'm going to pray for you. I don't know what you're going through. They might not want to talk about it, and that's okay. But don't talk to all the other people to try to get information, because now everybody knows. So then when you're all back together, you know, that funky shit on energy, because everybody's like, ooh, we were talking about Doug. And you know what? Doug didn't know that all these people that he thought was his friends were not his friends, because they all had a say. They all were thinking of the worst case scenario about Doug, and Doug was just going through a horrible time. So that is why it's so important, you know, is to, you know, a true friend is not going to expect you to be perfect. They're gonna accept you for when you're on top of the world, and when they see that, ooh, you got flaws? You got flaws? I'm out of here, man. You're not perfect. I thought you were perfect. I thought you were perfect. I thought you had it all figured out. But you don't got it perfect. Freak you, I'm out of here. Those are not your friends. That's why it's so important to take things slow. Don't be in a rush. That's why it's a big, huge freaking problem in the world with relationships, because they go from strangers to girlfriend, boyfriend that quick, you know. They skip the friend part. Where did the friend part go? You know, we got to know each other for a month. A month? Just a month? How many days in a week? How many hours in a month did you get to know them? Really? A month? I mean, when you say a month, that means all the hours and the days in the you know, if there's 31 days in the month, how many hours is that in the 31 days? Did you spend all that quality time with them? No, right? So maybe out of the 31 days out of the month, say if you even just spent the weekends with them. So, you know, and on the weekends, you know, you might, and this is what it was like for Starlight, you know, when I thought she had a friend, is, you know, the weekends was the time to hang out, the time to do stuff, the time to do this, and the time to do that. Well, how about Monday through Friday? You know, if it's only Saturday and Sunday through the weekends, and that's all, there's a whole lot of time there in that month that you don't even, you know, even if you wrote in text or even called each other on the phone, it really doesn't add up enough to say that you're friends. And then now you're girlfriend and boyfriends because you talked for a month. That's why it's so important. You got to slow down, test people out, don't respond to them, see how they're going to respond. Hey, what the blank is wrong with you? You don't even talk back to me. And delete, right? And then they're gone. You know, they're gone. They left you. They didn't even, you know. So you got to test the waters out. You got to make sure the ones that say you're friends are your true friends. They're the ones that they take the mask off, and they let you see their flaws. They let you see their imperfections. And a good friend, a real good friend, is going to say, you know what? I might have thought you were everything, and then I found out, you know what? You're just like me. You got flaws just like me. I thought you knew it all. I thought you were great. I still think you're great. I still think you're wonderful. But I realized, you know what? I'm not the only one that gets bad days. You get bad days too. Those are really friends. Those are friends. They love you so much that they can accept that, you know, maybe you're not going to always be in a good mood. That you might have a day that you're quiet, you know, or that you're not saying anything, or maybe you want a day to yourself. They can accept that. They can, okay, she or he. It's always good to check up on the people, you know, and check. You never know. There's people that could be going through some hard shit. They might want to end their life, and that you don't even check to see, you know, whether they're quiet and they're not returning calls and they're not, you know, like responding to anything, and you know that they had a horrible life, but you're not even saying, hey, how are you doing? How's everything? Because if you're not doing that with those people that you say that, you know, you could say, I know they're going through shit right now, but I'm just going to leave them alone. I'm not going to, you know, those are not your friends, you know. Now, if they said, hey, I'm going through some stuff, you know, I need some time alone, and you leave them alone and you respect that they're, you know, you just say, hey, are you good? You know, you're not gonna, you know, do anything crazy, right? And they say, no, I just need some time. I need some space right now to be by myself. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you. Okay, I will give you your space. That is the kind of friend that you want, is the ones that accept you for who you are, your authentic self, your flaws and all, the good times, the bad times, the ugly times, the ones that are, they might not reveal them true selves to other people because they know that not everybody is out for their best interest. But with you, they can actually take off the mask, and they can actually take off the disguise, you know, of pretending. They can actually be real with you, and that's them coming out of their shell like a turtle, and they can, you know, like to say, hey, you're not gonna attack me or anything like that, right? You're gonna be cool with me, and yes, I'm gonna be cool with you. I love you, you know, and I'm there for you. I know that you're struggling. I know you're going through something, and I'm not going anywhere. Those are the kind of friends. It's not the ones that say, hey, if you're not there for me, you know, you don't want to be my friend, and F you, I'm out of here. Those are not your friends, because I don't know nothing about you. What's your real name anyway? You know, you say you got this as a username, but I don't even know your name. You know, you could know so much about me, being a YouTuber, but I don't know anything about you. You know, you might think that I'm your friend, but how is it that I'm your friend when I don't know nothing? Absolutely. I don't even know how old you are. How old are you anyway? So anyway, I love you. This is you know, we need to slow down with saying that we're friends, you know. It takes years, it takes time, it takes hours, it takes, you know, like misunderstandings, miscommunications, you know, like, you know, it takes all that stuff. Just like a relationship, it's not when it's just sunny out all the time, when you, hey, yeah, it's a sunny day, yeah, we're just having fun, it's a sunny day, and then when it rains, you know, like, are they still going to be there when you're sad and depressed? Are they going to be there when the storms come? You know, can they be around when you need them? That's the question. You know, when you really need, like, maybe a shoulder to cry on or a hug, are you going to be there for that friend? Or, you know, could you be there for them? You know, could they be there for you? Are they there for you? That's what you got to ask. You got to figure out who are really your friends, not just in the good times, but all the time. You know, they can accept you on, you know, like who you are, apologetic, you know, being your true self, your true deepest version of yourself, that you take off the mask and you let them see everything about you. So anyway, I love you. This is Starlight. You could give this video a thumbs up. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you could leave a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you could share my videos with your family or friends. How about your friend Doug or Sally? You know, those people, they weren't good friends. They were backstabbing poor Doug. So yeah, share these videos with Doug and Sally, because they need a lesson on what real friends are like. And also, you can check out my playlist. Plus, you can find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Ding with Starlight. I love you all. So I do. I love you all. And this is Starlight. Namaste. Peace. I mean, peace. Whoops, that's peace.